Hey everybody, I am coming making this video message and I want to tell you that a family cannot heal unless it operates in truth. The reason why I'm making this video message is because unfortunately a lot of families are just simply in denial about the state of their family dynamic. And if you pay attention to a lot of families out here, they love, not all families, but a large majority of families, it doesn't matter the race or the background of the families. A lot of family members, they like to sweep things under the rug. If you have a family member that has done something that's offensive to you, they've said something that was offensive or disrespectful to you, you had a family member that was inappropriate with you in some way, you may have had a family member that told a lie on you, or they stole from you, or they were abusive. When you go to confront certain family members, they will want you to sweep the truth under the rug. A lot of times family members are so uncomfortable and uneasy when they are being confronted about what they know is the truth. One thing that you all already know about the truth is that it does hurt. Let's just keep it real. We have been told by certain people who know us and people who care about us the truth about how we operate, or the truth about something in particular that we had done or things that we do. And we may go off. You may have had a moment in your life where you cursed somebody out, you snapped off on them, you bit their head off because they were telling you the truth about yourself. But when you are alone, this goes for me and anybody else. When we are alone, we know exactly who we are. We know exactly who we are. We know who we are in a good way, but we definitely know who we are in all the bad and ugly ways too. But to hear somebody come to you and tell you, listen, you've got to stop doing this. You did this to me and it hurt me. You said this to me or about me and it hurt me. You allowed your son to do this to me. You allowed your daughter to do this to me. You allowed my grandfather or grandmother to do this to me. You allowed my cousin to say this or do this, and you didn't correct it. Whatever is going on in your family, I am just letting you all know that if nobody in your family operates off the truth, you're going to have a very difficult time healing from the offenses, healing from the abuse, healing from the inappropriate behavior, and healing from things that were disrespectful concerning you. Sometimes when people do things to you, they act like because they've moved on with their life or because they may have forgot about it, they expect you naturally to forget about it. And sometimes people will accuse you of being bitter. They will accuse you of being unforgiving. They will accuse you of being a negative person when you want to talk about and break down the exact reason why somebody in your family did something to you. This is what I started to realize about certain family members just over the course of me growing up. You will have family members that they just want you to move past whatever was done to you. And then you have a lot of family members who are extremely sensitive. So let me give you an example. Let's say you had a cousin that did something in particular to you and you talked to your aunt about it, which the cousin happens to be your aunt's child. A lot of times in families, that aunt will go off on you because you are speaking of her, or well, you're speaking of her child. Or if it's an uncle and it's his son or his daughter, and you confront your uncle and tell them about something your cousin did, you may have experienced that uncle going off on you and snapping on you, telling you, hey, watch yourself, you talking about my child. Now, here's the thing that I want you all to understand. It's a form of gaslighting. If you go to somebody in your family and you want to confront them and have a conversation with them about something that somebody did to you, and you want to talk about how it hurt you and how it wounded you and how you're trying to heal from it, and they get angry at you simply because it happens to be their child, their son, their daughter, their parent, their niece, their nephew that caused you the hurt, the pain, the offense, or the disrespect, or the abuse. If you notice, they get angry about it, and they are the ones that call you negative. When you just simply are telling the truth, it's nothing negative about the truth. We have got to stop doing this. We've got to stop accusing people of being negative when they just tell you a hard truth, or they tell you something that makes you uncomfortable if it is rooted and grounded in honesty. Jesus Christ was all about truth, and the truth is the light. The only time you should be getting upset at a family member is when they come to you about something and it's disrespectful. If it is disrespectful, okay, and somebody is trying to be volatile with you, and they're trying to get physical with you, or they're getting in your face, that is when you say, I'm not going to have this conversation with you. But a lot of times in a family dynamic, you can be so calm. You can be so respectful. You can be so loving. And you can sit that family member down and say, you know what, Auntie, my cousin did this particular thing to me and it hurt me. Your son or your daughter said this to me or about me. They caused me this hurt and this pain. And I've tried to talk to them, but I'm not able to break through to them. So you being their mother, I ain't telling you what they've done. I'm letting you all know, if you have that family member who starts to fly into a rage, or they get angry simply because you're telling them about their child, you've got to understand that no healing is going to come if you don't operate in truth. If everybody was silent about abuse, about disrespect, about inappropriate things going on, if everybody was silent about a family member that is betraying them, a family member that's stealing from them, a family member that is double crossing them, whatever the case is, if everybody was quiet about it, the dysfunction would continue. There would be a bunch of people who are unhealed, who are bitter, who are full of rage, full of anger, and they don't want anything to do with family. If you talk to a lot of people now, a lot of people, it's not just because it's the holiday season. Even outside of the holiday season, there are a lot of people, they are not feeling family. They don't want to talk to family. They don't want to see family. They don't trust family. Even the sight or the voices of certain family members, it angers them. They don't want to be bothered. They are 100% over family. And that is rooted in things not being told in truth. On today, I want you all to know that it is time for you, because you all that are watching, some of you all are an auntie, you are an uncle, you are a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a cousin. You are a grandparent. You are an elder. And there are certain family members who do not want to operate in truth. You may be the family member that nobody can come to. They cannot come to you to have a conversation and confront you about something wrong that you said to them, or something disrespectful you said to them, or a rumor you put out about them, or something you stole from them, or how you may have crossed them. Maybe you slept with your family member's spouse, or a boyfriend or girlfriend. However your family dynamic looks, and whatever dysfunction and toxicity is going on in your family, you have to be the person who is open and honest if you are confronted about things you've done and said, or things you have not done or not said at the appropriate time and in the appropriate season, if it hurts your fellow family member. Right now, recently, I've had a couple, not a lot, but I've had a couple of hard conversations with a couple of family members, and they did not go super bad, but I'm here to tell you all, it did not go super good, because I know these particular family members are, number one, they are in denial about the family member that I brought to them. They are in denial, and to a point, they know how the family member is, but just hearing that truth about that family member, no matter how ugly it is, they go off because they may be the mother, they may be the father, they may be the brother, they may be the sister. Um, about a month ago, I had a conversation with a female cousin of mine, and I was addressing her about her sister. And this particular female cousin was so in denial about her sister, she completely overlooked her abuse, her compulsive lying, her disrespect, and she chopped it up to this. Well, as long as uh my cousins are safe or they're okay, all the other stuff doesn't matter. See, that right there is what you call manipulation and gaslighting. Because it's your sister, you don't want to address that your sister has told a bunch of lies. You don't want to address that your sister has been emotionally and verbally abusive to several family members. You don't want to address that your sister has stolen from family members. You don't want to address that your sister has stuck her nose in a few family members' personal business concerning their immediate family members, meaning the family members in their households. You just feel like, oh, because those family members are safe, we don't need to address and talk about anything that she did. See, I'm using that as an example to let you all know things like this in a family dynamic, it has to stop. You have got to stop being sensitive because somebody comes to you and you're a mother, but somebody is telling you the truth about your son or your daughter, or your sons and daughters if you have more than one. You have got to stop getting offended if you are being told about your mother and you are the mother, but somebody comes to you as your child, but they're telling you about your mother, which is their grandparent, or they're telling you about your father, which is their grandfather. People and families, they get so upset. Don't talk about my sister. That's my sister. They will know that everything that's being said about their sister is the truth. They will know everything that's being said about their mother is the truth. They will know that everything that's being said about their father, about their brother, about their sister, about the auntie, about the uncle, they will know that it's true. But just because that's their son, just because that's their daughter, just because that's their brother or sister, just because that's their mother or father, people want to get offended. People want to get mad. The truth hurts. But if someone wants to tell you, your mother hurt me, your father hurt me, your sister or brother disrespected me, they backdoored me, Mom, Grandpa was abusive. He did these things to me. Grandma did these things to me. My little cousin did this. They stole this from me. They told these horrible lies on me, and it caused me to lose certain things. You've got to talk about these things. Guys, please stop manipulating and gaslighting your family members. Stop flying off the handle because you don't want to have a hard conversation about your close-knit loved one. If you're the mother and somebody is coming in your family to tell you about something your son or daughter did, as the mother, you should listen. As long as the person is coming to you and is respectful, as long as they're respecting you, as long as they are not calling your child out of their name, just to simply hear the truth, you have to sit back and iron it out, work it out, but hear the person out in love, because the truth is the light. I'm telling all of you now, stop being in denial about who your family is. Some people out here, they are so delusional. They are so much in denial about the state of their family and certain family members that the truth being told about them will make them want to fight you. The truth being told about their close-knit family members, it will make them want to cut you off. The truth being told about certain family members to them, depending on what their title is, according to the family member you're going to them about or they're coming to you about, certain family members will be so angry, they will label you as a troublemaker. They will label you as problematic. They will label you as being negative. How is the truth the 100% truth. How is the truth negative? So many human beings manipulate other human beings, and they try to finagle conversations by calling somebody negative that told them a truth that they were not ready to hear, or they told them a truth that they were uncomfortable with. You cannot heal unless you operate in the truth. If you're carrying around any level of bitterness, any level of unforgiveness, if you are full of rage and anger because there are unaddressed issues and scenarios that have gone on in your family, and you have continuously swept them under the rug, or you have rejected certain family members because they want to confront you and have a civil conversation with you and expose to you what your child may have done to them, or what your mother or father have done to them, or what your brother or sister has done to them. If you are the one that's being confronted, operate in truth. Jesus operated in truth. He said in his word, the ones that love me are the ones that obey me. When his mother and his father and family members, I forget the scenario, but I'm paraphrasing. They were waiting for Jesus, okay? And somebody came and told him, your mother and your brother is out there waiting for you. And Jesus said, no, my family, my brothers and sisters are those who obey me and my commandments. He operated in truth. Jesus didn't look at the fact that Mary was his mother. He didn't look at his father. He didn't look at his brothers, and because he came out of Mary's womb, he excused their disobedience towards him. He is an eternal divine being, and if he told his mother and told his father and told his household what was required of them in order to be right with his father, which was God, but they disobeyed him and went against him, that was evidence to him that they did not love him. They were not keeping his commandments. And so I'm saying all that just to make a point. Jesus operated in truth. He didn't care how his mother or father or siblings felt. He didn't care about that. He operated in truth. He didn't say it harshly, but that was the reality of the situation. You got to stop looking at, oh, well, that's my mother. You're not going to talk about my mother. That's my father. You ain't going to talk about my daddy. That's my child. That's my child. You ain't going to talk about my son. You ain't going to talk about my daughter. You ain't going to talk about my grandmother. You ain't going to talk about my grandfather. It doesn't matter who it is. If your grandfather molested your son or your daughter, ma'am or sir, you need to have that hard conversation with your child. If your son or daughter said or did something inappropriate or evil to your niece or your nephew, ma'am or sir, you need to have that conversation with your niece or whoever it is that's coming to you about your son or your daughter. You've got to address this stuff. Time out for families sweeping things under the rug and feeling like, oh, this is 5 years later. This is 10 years later. This is 15, 20 years later. We don't need to talk about that. But people are still walking around unhealed from something that your mother or father did, from something that your brother or sister did, from something that a niece or nephew did, and you think or expect them to just let it go and forget about it? I don't think so. Tell the truth. That's when healing comes. Notice when certain things get uncovered and certain things get exposed. It gets things turning. It shifts things. It puts some things into perspective. It brings understanding. What is concealed cannot be healed. Let me say that again. What is concealed cannot be healed. Families, mine is included, I've been praying about so many things concerning my own bloodline. But we cannot keep concealing matters that need to be exposed and talked about. Have respect. Pray. Be prayed up. You definitely need to be prayed up. You don't just out the blue go to a family member and just start talking crazy. No, you need to be prayed up. You need to set dates and times. Be in a very peaceful, calm atmosphere. And you confront family members and you bring up the hard conversations and topics. But operate in truth. Don't tell lies. Don't exaggerate. Don't add more pieces to the story that you should not be adding. Just tell 100% the truth. That's the video message. Well, guys, it's time for me to go because I have some other things to do. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have taken offense to anything I spoke about in this video message, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. I am not concerned because I know you will forgive me in the morning.